This is another extract taken from my book, The Greatest Drum Beats and Drum Grooves of All Time, which you can now download from my website. In this drum lesson, I thought we'd take a look at another classic, the intro drum beat taken from the song Sunday Bloody Sunday by U2, drummed by Larry Mullen Jr. And this drum beat's quite interesting because we have a double-handed hi-hat pattern being played between the hi-hat and the snare drum. Larry's hands are playing single stroke all the way through, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. That doesn't change. But what does change is where he plays those notes, are they on the snare drum or on the hi-hat. So this is a 2-bar pattern. Technically it's a 3-bar pattern because when the song first kicks in, the drum beat starts at the end of a previous bar and then the 2-bar pattern starts properly. But I'll get onto that in a second. So we're playing 16th notes throughout the entire 2-bar pattern. And they're counted 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Now hopefully you're familiar with this counting system. It's very popular amongst drummers these days. It's how I was taught how to count 16th notes, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. And within those 16th notes you can still hear the 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's just an E and an has been added either side. 1E and 2E and So you can count 8th notes and 16ths at the same time with the 16th note counting method. It's very useful to be able to hear rhythms before you play them, to be able to count them. And it's going to help me explain this drum beat to you as well. So, like I say, there's the 16th notes all the way through. The hands are playing right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, uninterrupted. The bass drum is going to be on all 4 beats of the bar, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So the first thing to get used to is to be able to play something like this. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Just get used to playing 4 notes, right, left, with a bass drum. So every 4th note you're playing a bass drum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. The bass drum on all 4 beats of the bar, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So then we've got to work out where the snare drum comes in. So the pattern starts, the song starts with Larry coming in on the and of beat 4 of the bar before the 2 bars, the drum beats properly start. In other words, Larry comes in on the and of 4. So to count myself in, I'd play something like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a. And what it turns out to be is 4 notes in a row. So we're playing and a 1E, the and a of 4, and then 1E, the first 2 notes of the next bar. And the bass drum's going to come down with the 1 of 1E. So we're going to play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1E, and a 1E. Bass drum on beat 1. That's actually where the first beat of the bar starts. So don't get confused by the fact we're starting on the and of 4. I want you to be able to sense that you're starting on the upbeat of 4 and that the downbeat, beat 1, is where the bass drum goes on beat 1. So, and a 1E, there's beat 1 there. 1, 1. Okay? So then the hands move back up to the hi-hat for 2, and the right hand's going to come back down to the snare drum for beat 2. And 2, obviously with the bass drum. And 2. Then the hands just move back up to the hi-hat and play E and 3E and up to 4E, and then another 2 notes on the snare drum, and so 4E and remember the bass drum's going on underneath all of this. So really the first bar of the 2 bars proper, we've got 2 snare drums on 1E, and then a snare drum on 2, and then 2 more snare drums on the and of 4 at the end of the bar, and So let's take out the bass drum. Let's take out the little pickup intro bar at the beginning as well. And let's just play the first full bar of the 2-bar pattern, just hands. We get this. 1E and a 2. Let me try that again properly. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Notice how the right hand leads down to the snare drum every time. It's and a, or 2, or and there again into the bar. The right hand comes down first from the hi-hat. So one more time, let's do it with the bass drum now, nice and slow. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. I was about to loop it then. Let me loop it twice. And a 1 E, oh, so it'd be 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and a, like that. The second bar, we've got 2 snare drums on the and of 2, and then 2 more snare drums on the and of 4. So 2 more double snare drum notes falling on the and of beat 2 and the and of course of beat 4. So the second bar with the feet as well. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So let me try now all 3 bars. That's the pickup bar included with the 2 bars, the 2 main bars. So I'm going to play the main 2 bar pattern with the 2 snare drum notes that start off the pattern. So I'll count myself in, coming in on the and of 4 and starting the 2 bars proper after that. By the way, it's much easier if you're following the music for this, and I'll post the notation for this drum beat as well, so you can be following the music as I'm explaining this to you, because it's far easier to see what I'm saying rather than understand what I'm saying, if that makes sense. Okay, so let me do the whole thing slowly. I'll count myself in, and we're going to come in on the and of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a, oh, I messed it up, sorry. Try that again. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So it's actually quite hard to play it slowly when you're having to think about every single note. I find that my level of playing, where I'm at right now, I find it very easier to hear the melody and hear the drum beat as almost like a song, a melody, and sing it rather than have to count it and read it. But we all have to start somewhere. In order to get the music off the page, you have to count it slowly and read it before you can naturally feel it, like I'll show you now. Because if you speed it up and play it up to speed, well, let's play it a bit faster first. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, like that. Up to speed now without me counting. And I can't resist throwing in rim shots. That's where you hit the snare drum, the centre and the edge at the same time. So you get a much louder snare drum note rather than a difference. So I just can't resist. I love playing rock, I love playing hard, and I love hitting rim shots. So, but you can play it any way you like. By the way, worth pointing out that this is only the first 2 bars of the song. Larry changes the pattern and takes out snare drum notes, adds extra snare drum notes in. So this pattern isn't what you play for the entire first section of the song. It's just literally the first 2 bars, but the bars after it are very, very similar. And I'm pretty sure these 2 bar patterns do get repeated at some point. I think it's like a 4 and 8 bar pattern that Larry came up with for this song, and it repeats every 4 or 8 bars, and you do get those bars being repeated again. But if you learn those 2 bars, to play the other bars isn't that difficult. You're playing either 2 snare drum notes on the and, or you're playing 1 snare drum note either on the downbeat or the and. Listen to the song, you'll know what I'm talking about. So there you go. There's the whole 2 bar pattern. I hope you find that useful. As always, give me an email if you've got any problems, any questions with that. And happy drumming. See you next time.